Hello everyone, it's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I'm Mariah Afolabi Brand. As always, I have the ladies of Your View. Good morning, Mariam Lunge. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
I haven't seen you this week, right? We've not seen this week.
No, we haven't seen this week yet. Yes.
What's up? How are you? Anything
Great.
interesting?
It's the 1st of July, our birthday.
Yeah, so
Yay.
whoop, whoop.
Amount of perfection.
Yes. According to
yes.
Christianese, yes.
Well, and people that believe in all sorts of numbers and things like that. And also for my lifestyle with ML, it's 1 year exactly. Yes, we started small, and I'm just so happy there have been many people who have lost weight, who are maintaining the weight, who have said their lives have changed, they're in a better place because of it. So I'm really grateful because it wasn't really about me, it was about every one of them that has been part of my journey.
And what's so amazing about ML, with your lifestyle with ML, was the fact that you actually explain what every single thing we're doing. So people don't just, you don't give them instructions. You explain, you break it down. People actually feel like they understand everything they're eating, what it does to them, and how they can maximize the benefits and all that. So I think you're doing a good job. Well done.
Thank you.
More of it. So are you branching out to other things, or you're just sticking to this ML?
Lifestyle with ML is a huge lifestyle platform. So we're going to be doing workouts, we're doing travel. You know, it's a big dream. We'll go one step at a time.
That's nice, nice. You need to do like workout videos.
Yes.
So that we can have that. So you can download this on your own ones.
Yeah, so in the new year you will see, a few of those with me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing.
This hair, I don't understand. Thank God Wyke is not on the show today.
What color is
because
this
she'll just
hair?
abuse you.
This is orange.
Copper. Okay.
Orange. Copper. You're the one that knows all those things. Copper, orange for me.
Wow. And you can wear it on your head.
Yeah, I can wear it on my head. Don't I look great?
You look nice.
Thank you.
Whatever you do, with confidence. Anyway.
When the lady in the makeup was trying to curl it, I was like, sorry, who owns this hair?
You should know.
I was like,
There's just one person.
Honestly.
Anyways,
I'm good. I'm great. So yesterday I was with my son. We're bonding, and he was showing me all the games he had coded in his laptop. I didn't know that my son pays attention in class. So I was like, I heard that you are always running around. You don't sit. Hey, the class is boring. I don't like to sit. He had actually created a game, showed me the steps from one level to the other, and he's thinking of selling the game. I don't know how that it's done. Yes, I don't know how that. Maybe I'll have to find someone who can organize it. Then when we're done with that, he had started a podcast already with his laptop where he interviewed. He calls himself Chef Kamdi. He loves to cook. So he talks about food, and then he interviewed me yesterday as his guest, his celebrity guest, and he introduced me as BC. International superstar, former rapper.
They pay attention.
They pay attention. I was happy that, because this is a boy that doesn't sit still, and his teachers will complain he's not sitting. We just need him to calm down. He's not calm, and he's able to create. He's actually very creative.
So he's been listening.
He's been listening. Yes, when he's interesting, you can get him to, and when you can engage him, give him tasks to do. And I'm happy that the money is not wasted. He's coding games.
Fantastic. So it's July. Hey, listen.
Birthday loading.
Honestly, this is not my birthday. This is my husband's birthday because he has practically taken over this thing. I mean, he's you know, he'll love to, because I respect his judgment. So I just leave it to him, because anything he does, he's a perfectionist. So he wants to know, what are we doing in the morning? What time do you post this picture? How are you going? What time did the guest artists come in? What time? And I'm like, oh, man, honestly, let the day just come. And But
let us do it his way, because if we do it Morel's way, to just come and go.
He was telling me that, Morel, you don't have an idea. Well, I'm helping you. I'm helping your destiny. Because the truth is that I actually don't have an idea.
Let him do it.
I'll just wake up that day and just pray.
I know.
But he thinks that, because I know I surprised him for his own 40th. So he just felt like, listen, this is your 40th. Let's do something big and interesting. And he's been doing something big.
Yeah, it's his birthday too. You are him, and he's you.
It's also my mother's birthday that same day. My mother's going to be 74 that day. We're born on the same day. So I'll be celebrating her too. So
and I saw a picture you posted this early this morning.
Yes.
You know, I've always said that your last son looks exactly like you, but people are always arguing, and so that your baby picture just confirms it.
He does. He does, really.
Okay, let's go on a break. We'll be right back with the papers. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're going to start with the punch. NMA TUC knock FG over order to reopen schools. In a related story, Ekiti reopens schools July 20th, worship centers 17th. Alleged rape, IG orders probe of the Banjis accusers arrest. CP orders manhunt for Okadame who killed Lagos businessman. Makinde can never surpass Ajimobi's achievements, daughter-in-law. ICPC declares ex-official wanted for bribery. Health workers meet FG today, threaten strike over hazard allowance. Akeredolu tests positive. Cabinet members, others isolate. Wadume, a family of slain cop, sues federal government killer captain this week, and National Assembly discourse asks federal government to subsidize power consumption. Let's start with the NUT-NME story.
Yes, so, you know, there was a directive by the Presidential Task Force that schools, there will be a safe reopening of schools where we are going to be having the primary 6 pupils, the GSS 3 and SS3, all those students who are bound to be writing examinations will be reopening. But the Nigerian Medical Association and the Nigerian Union of Teachers are saying that schools are not ready to reopen. Number one, you have not even provided the PPEs for the teachers. The teachers have been neglected. Nobody's looking at. Some schools, they are saying they make sure they have water, they have soap, they have that. Some schools cannot even afford to have that water.
Even
so
before COVID.
Yes, and teachers are afraid of getting there to spread. And you're also asking the students to have the face masks. Who is going to provide that? The teachers to have the face mask. So a lot of things have not been, you know, stabilized for you to say that schools should reopen. And they are really scared. They are not looking at. Teachers are not ready to lay their lives down for this. I am just saying that. Is there a way we can write these examinations from home? Because I know my daughter had just written an examination from home, online. For those, is there a way we can just think of public schools? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The other people that can't do that.
Yeah.
But Ekiti State is saying that they've picked a date, saying July 20th is their own day for reopening.
Okay.
And the religious houses will be reopened on 17th of July. So according to them, they put the right measures in place. And remember, the Presidential Task Force told us that there are 60% of the COVID cases they have are from 18 local governments. So if your government or your state doesn't really fall within that, maybe you can consider reopening. And according to Ekiti State, they're going to start with this primary 6 and gradually they will then begin to absorb the other classes. But for now, if you're not within that 18 local governments, maybe you can then consider, but all those within that 18 local governments
should lay low for
now. I mean, I'll probably suggest
Let me take the Dibanj story. Okay, so it's been in the news. I'm sure a lot of us have heard about the person who accused Dibanj of rape, and then she was allegedly arrested by police officers on the instructions of Dibanj and his legal team. The Inspector General of Police, thankfully, has asked for the probe into these police officers that arrested her because, according to her lawyer, she was arrested and made to write a statement saying that she had never met Dibanj in her life and she was just lying about what happened. And they had asked for, he said he came in while she was going to, because they had intimidated her to the point that she was going to actually write that statement, but her lawyer was able to come in at that time and he stopped her. Also, they kept her for longer than 24 hours. And even though the lawyer said that it seemed the police were about to let her go, then the lawyer for Dibanj came in and started giving the police officers instructions, and they said threatening that they would even get a court to make sure she stays behind, in jail for over 2 weeks. So she was clearly intimidated, and we're happy that the police head is looking at this. Yes.
Okay, moving on now to the nation. Minister lawmakers clash over plan to recruit 774,000 people. $2.5 billion AKK gas pipeline to feed 4 states and Abuja. Anxiety in Ondo as Akeredolu tests positive, and Lawan to disclose metering before tariff hike. Okay, I wanted to take the major headline.
Okay, go ahead.
Of this Keyamu. That's the problem when you have a human rights lawyer working at the government. So what happened was that, the government had agreed that they're going to hire 1,000 people per local government across the country. Now, so there was a committee that was set up, the 20-man committee. What happened was that the House of Assembly called the Joint Task Force Committee that's supervising to see how did you arrive at this 20-man committee. Okay. They called on the DG, National Directorate, Nasir Lawan Agungu. He said he can account for 8. But the remaining 12, well, it is Honorable Minister of State, Keyamu, that is going to tell us how he got the 12. Yes. Not called Keyamu. Come now. So he was openly suggesting that he doesn't know how Keyamo came about with the 12.
The 12, wow.
So when Keyamo now wanted to respond, then I said, no, let's go into this inner room to discuss. Where journalists were not there. He now said, you asked me a question in open in front of the public. Now you're now saying, let me respond in front of the media. Don't come into a room. And they started banging the table and he's being rude. He now felt that he as a minister, he's been undermined because he's a minister of state. His job is that they can't give him directive from the National Assembly. His job is to do his job according to the president's directive. However, their job is to investigate and just ask questions. But don't try to suggest who I bring into this committee in some backdoor way.
Although the National Assembly was saying that it just seemed tilted to one group of people, wasn't balanced.
Yes.
So that's why they were calling him, and that he owes them an apology, although he says he doesn't owe them an apology.
Yes, so the governor of Ondo State has tested positive for the coronavirus, and he announced it. There was a viral video where he was talking about it, and he's going to be going for his 14 days isolation. But the fear is because, they are preparing for the governorship primaries, which is going to be happening, I think, on the 20th of October, and they are beginning to speculate that he may not be around to, get into the planning and the lobbying and all that they need to do. So the fear is, are you sure he's capable? Because they have about 8 aspirants who are contesting for the ticket as well.
There's a video of him, making the rounds on social media where he's sneezing in the midst of a group of people. And he sneezed. He did not do the COVID sneeze like this. He did like the normal regular sneeze. And
I think that video cannot be recent because nobody was wearing a face mask.
Okay.
If it's recent, they're likely to have 1 or 2 people.
So I just hope it's not.
Because
when I saw it, I was like, God help us.
When I saw the video, I said, this person is just being very, very
mischievous.
Nigerian.
I doubt it.
Help us.
But let us just be sure. Moving on to Vanguard. APC, Tinubu and Mechi El-Rufai dig in for 2023. CSE, the registered Splinter Ohanes and Ndigbo group. Fear grips commissioners, others as accredited test positive. Court declines to stop reps from passing infectious disease bill, dismisses Melaye's suit, and NLC demanding outright the cancellation of Buhari. National Assembly agree on the EFCC, on the electricity tariff hike delay. Let's take CSE for a second.
Yes, so you took the story, I think on Monday, where the Ohaneze Ndigbo, the group had split, and a part of the group went ahead to register, leaving the other part, and try to abolish all the roles that the other parts were playing. But now there's this allegedly that the CSE has withdrawn the registration, saying that it did not meet all the criteria for that registration, and that Asonwobodo, who's in charge of the main group initially, is in support of this. But then the splinter group is saying that there is nothing like that. It's just fake news that is going around in the media, that we still have the registration intact, we still have our members intact. I just want to appeal that you people are jostling for 2023 to have president. If you are not united, this is the problem we always have with the Igbos. If you are not united with one front, one voice, it's going to be very difficult to prove to the other people that you are ready to take over leadership. Well, so whatever it is, you people should sort it out and give us one body.
Well, in a related story, which is in Sun, that the Southeast governors Ohanes set up an Igbo Development Fund, which has been headed by the former, I think, his economic advisor to President Olusegun Obasanjo, Professor Ogbu. He's going to be leading the 48-man team, including himself 50. And they're going to be working towards that unity that we all seek. Because the truth is that when the Southeast is united towards a common purpose, then we can begin to, they are trying to now build that Southeast to be a proper economic strength for the country, which I love. So I'm excited about those in quite a number of other people, really prominent Nigerians within that Ndigbo group. I'm really excited about that because, trust me, the Southeastern people have a huge potential.
They do.
Global potential to take over a lot of the industrialization that we seek in Nigeria. So I think that if they are given that opportunity, that place is going to be the next El Dorado in our country. Moving on very quickly now to Daily Sun. Buhari National Assembly stop electricity tariff hike. FG workers set for showdown over airport concession. PDP asks Ondo Deputy Governor to resign. Okay, let's talk about the National Assembly and the tariff.
Okay, yeah, so the Senate President and the Speaker for the House of Assembly had met with the President and the Vice President, and really it was just about us. They thought about us. They went and they discussed our plight, and they're saying that the DISCOs should suspend the increase in tariff that has been slated for today. And that is because they said Nigerians have gone through a lot, especially during this pandemic, and that to increase tariff without making sure that we're all metered would just be continually a guessing game. And so that's just plainly what they're saying. And the DISCOs have agreed as well and said, well, your National Assembly are the ones that made us suspend this, and they're really thinking about your plight. It's good to see.
Yeah, but they were asking.
DISCOs also were saying that they would have liked for the government to also be able to pay that difference in the meantime. Because the truth is that it's hard for them to provide the right amount of electricity for us if they don't have that cost-reflective tariff. So, but the government was very silent on that.
They are not saying anything about the payments. I'm just worried because after a while, they are still going to go back to this tariff. So shouldn't it wouldn't it be nice that we just get used to it now?
No, let's get the meter so that we are billed for exactly what we use. That's it.
Okay, final paper, Daily Trust, very quickly. Lawan Gojamila meets Buhari, make case for subsidy. Multi-billionaire salt deposit abandoned in states as import soars. Senate Ambode Dabiri, others tipped for Shinawa's seat. Keyamo Lomaga's clash, we talked about that, and how small-scale businesses are faring under COVID-19 lockdown. We can't take any more stories, but let's take the salt story.
Yes, so we have imports of salt is soaring, and we have a lot of salt deposits in the country. We have Benue, Cross River, Ebonyi, Abia, Taraba, and Nasarawa. And for now, there is no deliberate government policy to ensure that we, get into salt production. It's just the local women in those areas who are fetching the salt and using it. But there was a report that showed that the federal government had started a presidential initiative in Ebonyi, but they just announced it and nothing was done about it. So we need to look into it and see how we can encourage investors to get in and build
we have to run,
refineries.
but Lagos politicking has started because they're trying to replace late Oshino, that's our honorable representative, and the former governor of Lagos State, Ambode, the chairman of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, and that's Abike Dabiri, and a few others are being considered for that seat. It'd be nice to see. I don't know. I like Lagos politics. Very interesting because you know the people they are bringing. They don't just bring somebody from one place. You have an idea who these people are,
and you see their track record.
You can see their track record. Lagos politics can be very interesting. But we'll see what happens. I think they're going to decide. They have 90 days to do a re-election to know who the next person would be. All right, let's go on a break. When we come back, Governor of Kogi State is trending.
Again.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello says Nigerians are being made to accept the reality of COVID-19 by force. According to him, COVID-19 is only out to create fear, panic, orchestrated to reduce and shorten the lifespan of the people. We don't understand what this statement means. So for those of you that live in Kogi, please call us. We'd like to hear from you. Call us from 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your VTVC so we can read your tweet. Because people, 500,000 people have died around the world of this disease. In Nigeria, we recorded over 500 deaths already.
Yes.
And we have a sitting governor telling us that this virus is just orchestrated to create fear.
A hoax.
I don't understand. Did you understand what it means?
I don't understand, but I've been in conversations with my friends that live in Kogi State. Okay. And for them, they're like, CEO, he's one person and he says his own, I am my own. So they had been listening to the news. He had refused NCDC to even come in there at a point and just, just totally disregarded the guidelines or what they stand for. There was a time he was the same person that came up with an app You remember the app that was supposed to help you detect COVID. But people are taking, from what I hear, people are taking like individual responsibility, which is what the federal government has said to us. So they wear their mask and things like that. But the officials themselves don't seem to be, I've seen pictures of them at events. They do not social distance. So they would wear their mask, but they are not, you know, doing the social distance. So that's why at this point, it's really important that people put their ears to the ground, watch the news for themselves, see the numbers out there. And this is really sad because this was also after the death of one of the officials in Kogi State who allegedly passed on from COVID. I think he died in an isolation center. So you're like, okay, if you are there, what else? What do you think?
It was actually at his burial that the guy was saying that, because
this.
he was insisting that he didn't die of COVID, that he actually died of natural causes.
Yeah.
Although reports had it this week that the man had actually died because of, as a result of complications from COVID-19.
Well, you know, it's not I was going to say it's not a Nigerian thing. You know, we have someone in America that is also of the same mindset. The guy at the top there, you know. So I think there's a group of people in this 2020 that just are not, you know, right. I don't know what they're thinking.
Even the same governor was wearing nose mask. Did you notice? He went for the burial and he wore face mask.
So what was he
protecting?
I don't
natural. He was protecting against natural causes.
I just feel that we shouldn't take our belief as law and transfer it on every other person. So we've had news that people are dying, whether it's of natural causes. How come? How convenient it is? Or is it that it's now that a lot of people are dying left, right, and center? I've had people who've died around me. How convenient, young, old. He's not a respecter of anybody. So if you do not believe at this stage that COVID-19 is real, that's your belief. And I believe you should hide that in your pocket and don't bring it out. Because the truth is, a lot of people will listen to him now and feel, okay, I can go about my business. And then before we know it, we'll start having a lot of people dying, slumming, whatever it is. The truth is, we are not seeing as much people panting. Like when the pandemic started initially and we had a lot of people on oxygen, and we're not seeing that in Nigeria. So it's making people relax to say, are you sure this is real? But what we have here is more asymptomatic. So you will not show symptoms, but then if that thing catches any underlying sickness in you, that is the end. And the people who have died around us, they had either diabetes or something underlying. So don't just come out and say...
BC, I get what you're saying. We're talking about the executive governor. Yes, this is the frontline man of the whole state.
That is what I'm saying.
So if you and I have those reservations, if you and I have those that are not Pierre Palot called, that is for us. But when the frontline head
comes out
and now says that is it, so for us, I now get more confused because is it that he's not talking with the NCDC? Is it that he doesn't have a relationship with the federal government? Is it that he's not engaging other stakeholders within this country? What exactly is the issue here where he continually feels? Because the chief judge has died. You attended his burial, and you're now saying that he died of natural causes.
And you wore a face mask
to the burial. I would really like to hear from people living in Kogi State, or maybe from some of the. Okay, I have Aniela on the phone. Okay. Good morning, Aniela. Are you there?
Hello, ladies.
Thanks for calling, Aniela. Go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome.
Yeah, my take on this COVID-19. I think the government are not really doing well with this COVID-19 issue. Now, imagine in Surulere, among the 18 the local government mentioned by the federal government that might be going on shutdown. Surulere was part of the this local government, and we don't get to see anybody who has COVID here. So I think they need to create more awareness about COVID-19, and when anybody calls, or has COVID-19 symptoms, they should come with their branded vehicle, to alert people that it's not to create their voice, it's part of awareness, so that people would have this mindset that, okay, COVID-19 is real.
Seeing is believing.
That's my view.
Thank you very much.
At this point, Mr. Eniola, I think we're looking for people that will put people on crosses and crucify them first for us to believe. Every day we're talking about people who have died. I don't know what, do we want us to put like a mat, an area in the middle of the place and say, people come and visit and see the ones that are
dying.
How else? No, there's
numbers.
No. Okay. See, the thing about Nigeria is I don't even understand this conversation. First of all, people will say, we don't know anybody that has died. Then they started telling you, oh, this person has passed. They call the names. Then you say, okay, it's only rich people that have passed. Then rich people, then you're not hearing kind of where everybody is passing on. People are saying they are burying people. You say it's natural causes. The truth is, you will not believe if you do not want. You will not see it if you don't want to see it. And then maybe until it happens to you, and you can say for yourself that it's happened to you. But the thing is, it is real. It's real. And we should take precaution.
Let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, Mariah, good morning.
Good morning, Yakub. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, and then good morning to Miriam.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
We can hear you clearly. Go ahead, please.
Okay, you see, Mariah, I really give thanks to God Almighty Allah that we don't have this such character as a governor of Lagos State. Why the reason I say so is that I didn't think we have such character as a governor in Lagos State. People have been worse than this.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, let me quickly add to what he was trying to say. So we have people who are supposed to be our leaders, who are supposed to know better. Because if you don't know better than the people you're leading, that's a mistake already. Now, even if you feel in your heart that this is not real, you shouldn't come out publicly to say it. A lot of people are going to be misled by it. A lot of people are going to throw caution to the wind. We already have a problem where Nigerians are not even paying attention to the precautions they are supposed to take. Now, imagine somebody just listening, this governor, he has just made sense. This thing is just created to cause fear. Who created it to cause fear all over the world? Who are the creators of this COVID-19? Yeah. I have seen people close to me who have died. Close to me, close to my husband who have died. I have seen people who have it right now that are close to me. I have experienced it one-on-one. So I won't go outside and say it's not there. I won't say it's natural causes that kill them. So we need to pay attention to what we say.
Because the truth is that, in fairness to him, there was a video that went out a few weeks ago, about a month ago, where he was, the objective of from what I saw of that video was, he wanted us to, yes, COVID is there, but let us not say because of COVID, life must not go on. That's what I got from that video, where he was saying that we must continue to stir up the economy. We must continue to, because we had actually done a lot to invest in this, where we have farms, we have rice farms, and all had to shut down because of COVID. So from that video, what I got from that video was that, listen, yes, there's COVID, but this thing can be such that let us not shut down the economy because we don't have the ability or the capacity to do so. We cannot survive as a nation if we do that. So I understood that from that video. However,
just confirm. Did you say he said, yes, there's COVID?
No, he just, well, I can't remember.
He did not say that.
He was saying that he was trying to acknowledge that, let us not say because of COVID,
and shut down the economy.
Yes,
I get that.
I could reason with that. But at the same time, we shouldn't, as a leader, come out to be saying that this thing is not real or this thing was created just to create fear. That can be quite misleading and can make lots of people complacent on this issue.
Mariah, so what I expect for him to do, if he really is about building the economy and not shutting down because of COVID-19, is to ensure that all the doctors, all the medical practitioners in his state have the PPEs, to ensure that those people who are in the rice farms have the PPEs, to ensure that people are paying attention, is creating awareness. We need to see activity that he's doing something to ensure that the economy does not shut down and not come out to tell us there's no COVID-19.
Okay, let me take this call from Kogi State. I'm so happy to get this call. Mr. Adeyemi, please tell me what's happening in your state, brother.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. This is my first time caller.
Welcome. Okay.
Yes, presently our governor is just playing politics.
Okay.
Number one, and I won't blame him. I will also blame his party and the federal government for giving room for this politics.
Okay.
I will also blame the Boss Mustafa for also giving room to this. Because number one, we in the state, in Kogi, some of us know COVID is real. Because you can't say the whole world is lying. people are dying per seconds per day. But the problem is that the federal government has not given us the full story of COVID. When you tell a story and you leave some space, then you're giving room for suspicions and for us to fill up the gap.
Yeah.
Right now, the governor has his own fan base. Likewise, Donald Trump and the Brazilian president, who people are dying under their nose. And this COVID, if the governor is not careful, the governor knows that he's done. The governor knows he's done. And he might not come back.
Ooh.
You know, that's also...
Thank you very much, Adeyemi, sorry.
That's also one of the things, you know, the governor, yes, has all the powers and everything, but it just brings to question what are indigents of a state meant to do when you have a leader that seems to be clearly not paying attention to the health of the people. What should the state, the medical association in that state do? You know, what should the state assembly, the members of the House do in that situation? Do you just keep following? You know, where is the check and balance that we have been talking about between executive and legislative and the executive arms? So we cannot allow one. The reason we have a democracy is that so that when one person goes mad, there are other people that are able to hold the person down. Do you understand? So the thing is, we need to find ways, is it to educate ourselves more on our rights, to empower ourselves so that we know the steps to take when the governor is not doing what is right.
Okay. Unfortunately, we have to
finally quickly say that the federal government should call him to order, because they can't be fighting COVID and making sure that everybody's taking precautions and safeguarding ourselves, trying to open schools and all of that. And somebody somewhere saying that COVID-19 is not real. They should call him to order and get him to understand what everybody's doing.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we focus on our topic today, which is parenting. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So parenting can be a very tough job to do, especially for parents who are not prepared for that process. Now, sometimes our children can be sexually active without many parents being aware. So how do you detect and know when your child, when your dear, small, beautiful child is sexually active?
Jesus.
Joining us on the show is an author and inclusion advocate, Uri Ngozi Chukwuka. Good morning, madam. Are you there? Uri, are you there? I think I lost her. But let's start the conversation while we try to reconnect with her.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
good morning, Mariah.
Oh,
good morning, ladies. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, Uri. So this issue of young children being sexually active as a parent, you know, these times our children are exposed to so much. How can a parent have an idea or an inkling to the fact that his or her child is sexually active?
Okay. Okay. Hi. Let me say this first. There's a big world of difference between having sexual activity in a child and sexual abuse. Let's not mix that up.
Okay.
Sexual abuse, of course, is when the child is taken advantage of. Now, when a child is sexually active, is when the child is interested, when the child is consenting, when the child is excited about it. So there are two different things altogether. And as a parent, there are various ways that you would know that, when your child is either being abused or when your child is sexually active. Now, let me start with this, parents. A lot of times, these are issues we don't like to talk about. And really, not talking about sex responsibility as a parent, take this from me. Now, it's like, don't ask, don't tell. So you don't want to talk about it, you don't want to imagine it, you don't even want it to come, you don't want to sleep and wake up and that's not what you're thinking about. But hey, it's happening. It's happening to so many parents. And one of the ways that you can know that your child is actually sexually active is by the time they begin to wear revealing clothes, especially for the girls. And then by the time for the boys, by the time they begin to spend longer time in the bathroom, because you have somewhere to go and your son is in the bathroom, he's not coming out. He's just in the bathroom. Trust me, he's working with his hands and soap. And then a lot of times we just, we don't even, please don't say it ill. I'm tickled, okay.
Go ahead.
Because you can't just be talking about the girl, The boy is also affected. Now, for the girl, by the time she begins to wear lipstick, she begins to wear more revealing clothes, and she wants, she just wants to be an adult. And she is interested in things that are not age appropriate anymore.
Uri, we don't want to get to that level. Please, Uri, let me slow you down a bit. We don't want our child to get to that level. Some of us like our children to remain very, very holy for a long time. So when you're telling me that when I start seeing my child wearing revealing clothes, I want you to help me not to get to that level. I don't want to
I knew you would ask this. Let me tell you this. Have this at the back of your mind.
Ooh.
Children are like flower arrangements.
Okay.
And a flower arrangement, no matter how well you arrange a flower, one particular one will be facing the wrong direction. So let me say, and have this at the back of your mind, that your child turns out not being sexually active at a very tender age, honestly, in the times that we're in right now, is because of two factors. One is 50% you, and the other one is just 50% chance or providence.
I didn't get that.
Because the height of exposure right now, you don't have a control over. You don't have a control over what they see. You don't have a control over what they hear. So now what do? Because you don't have control. Communication. In bringing up children, one of the best things, communication at an early age. You know what about, the great thing about children, they're like canvas. And they're like a blank canvas, like an artist canvas, and you, the parent, you are the artist. So whatever picture that you want to see is a picture that you paint. And the great thing about a child, you take a child of 3 today and you teach that child algebra. Crazy subject, I don't even know it now. But you teach that child algebra, the child will understand algebra.
Right, okay.
We always feel they don't understand, but we need to begin to communicate very early.
Okay, so first of all, because I'm getting a bit confused, the child we're talking about, are we talking about a child that is old enough to have consensual
activities,
intimacy? Or are we talking of a child that is not old enough but has found another child of the same age and they are in that activity?
That's why I started by, sexually active. When they're sexually active, they are interested. Either they are doing it with their fellow children or they're doing it with adults, which is, and they are children. They haven't reached the age of, where they can consent to sex.
Okay.
Now, I'm saying that by 16, 18, they have even reached the age.
Okay.
So I'm talking on two levels here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying now, early education, not education, communication. The great thing about children, once you communicate with kids, the back and forth. Now, this happens, that happens. You know, like a child, children, mommy says if you touch that thing, you will die. Period.
Yeah,
you give them that
16,
information that, look, this is sex, okay, now it's for adults. Now, this is what it does to children. This is what it does to your body. You have to extend that to them. And now for the teenager that is old enough to consent, they have to know the dangers of one, sexually transmitted diseases. They ought to know that you can get pregnant, and when you get pregnant, didn't you want to be a doctor anymore? You have to let them know that
the
sex
consequences.
messes things up.
Okay, before I take your comments,
even at an older age anyway.
I have a caller. Let me try and get to the caller. Good morning, sir. Are you there? Adewale from Ondo. Hello, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Please, I want to contribute to the topic of the convicted governor.
Go ahead, very quickly.
Yes. Please, we need to get this very right. The man, I'm very to be practical, to talk about that. Where I live here, most people around me don't believe this thing is real. Don't let you are talking fast. Now, I myself, I believe it because I listen to the media, I get used to it was on the world of TV. But about what the big governor said, he is the governor, he knows the truth. This thing is real. I'm very sure in his own mind, he knows it's real, but it's coming out to tell us it's real. It's not real. Based on the fact that maybe I don't know, don't let me mention it. Maybe this thing has been manipulated in the state. He knows it, that maybe they are mixing some strong malaria, what's it called, and call it to the COVID-19. Maybe that's what we see that is happening or something similar. I know that they are manipulating it and maybe bringing something up, and he don't know how to address it. He's not coming out to tell us that maybe that is his own case. But
thank you. So he has an intelligence that we don't know on this. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue with Uri. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Uri, are you still there? Uri, are you still there? Ooh. Okay, I think we're still having some network issues. All right, so we wanted to focus actually on parents who have teenagers who are fully developed and they are suspecting their children might be active, because we're seeing on tweets, people are saying, are we talking about underage? We're not talking about the underage children. I'd like us to focus on those kids between that 14, 15, 16 range
17.
that feel their bodies are developing and they are feeding, they are getting all sort of sensations. And how does a parent start that conversation? Because there's sometimes they're already being active and there's sometimes you can stop them from being active. So that's really what I wanted really to focus on. But I think, Uri, are you there? Uri?
She's not there. She's not there.
I would also like her to, give us like...
Uri, she's back. Uri, are you there?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Oh.
I can't hear you. You're there, but I can't hear you. Uri, are you there? You need to unmute.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So when you went off, we're saying that we'd like to focus on parents who have teenagers, like 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, who are fully developed and they might be sexually active. That's what I would like to focus on. BC had a question in relating to that.
So I want to ask you, because the few times that we see parents give advice or talk to their wards about sex, they always emphasize abstinence, which is very good. And they don't go to other areas. Now, they forget that these children have a mind of their own. And sometimes it's not like anybody's forcing them. They really want to experience it. They want it. It's consensual here. So how do we as a parent, because even if you preach abstinence from today till tomorrow and the child wants to go and find out, the child would find out. How do we now get the conversation into, in case so you want to find out? Use protection. Use this.
Okay.
Do it this way. How do we get into that conversation? Because from what is going on right now, I think that's the conversation parents need to start having with their children. In case so you want to do it like this. How, please?
Nigeria parents. Let me say this. Yes, let me say this first. Parents, what our biggest problem is that we are pretenders. We pretend, because we were once young. A lot of us did this thing, we shouldn't be having this conversation, but if we must have this conversation, before we went off air, I said this, with children, honesty is usually the best. And the thing is that what you're not telling your child is what they're hearing.
Yes.
So have that at the back of your mind, number one. And also remember that you were also a young person. And you are not as exposed as they are right now. And I mean, as a teenager, your hormones were raging as well. So you can't now have children and you think that their hormones will not rage. Certainly the hormones will rage over and above. Now what you have to do is, parents are scared to jump in. That's because the child, they get aggressive, and children these days especially, they know how to build a wall. But guess what? As a parent, you break that wall, get ready to take all the embarrassment. But what you do it in a friendly way. You know, we can actually talk about sex. How about you start the conversation that way? Hi, Lola, you know, we can actually talk about sex. You know, I was young like you too. And I can give you a few tips on
let me pause you for a second. I have a call from the UK. I hope it's relating to this. Good morning, are you there? Hello, good morning.
I'm there.
Go ahead, please, you're live.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm from London. I'm a first timer.
Woo! Go ahead, please.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Clearly. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning, Maureen.
Yeah, I'm a first timer. London. Number one, I'm a front line UK, and I've been a victim. For this governor to come out and say there is no COVID-19, I don't think he got it right. Number one, it needs to be, is he an epidemiologist? He's not one. We should leave that to the professionals to say.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for your input. Yes, Mariam, we're going to say something for the...
Okay, yes. The question I want to ask is, you know, there's a way that our parents did it, which is they threatened us, fire and brimstone, you go to hell. And then there are those that we saw in the movies, and we thought, oh, Oyinbo people will do it, and they will tell them. And then they'll now, in that one, we would see a young teenager have a boyfriend and even bring the boyfriend home. Nigeria, I know that we will not be able to, you know, do that. So how do we find a balance? So we're not lying to our children about fire and brimstone, but yet we don't want them to be so involved with a boyfriend.
Yes, now, I'm doing all they do is...
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to talk from my experience, right? As a mother and as a grandmother and as a young person as well. But one of the things you should have with your children is absolutely, you should trust your children implicitly. Now, trusting them, you know, you trust them to make the right decisions. And when you trust them to make the right decisions, you also have this conversation with them. Tell them, look, I know you'll make the right decisions. Look, let's really talk about sex. This protects you. This stops you from getting pregnant. And this stops you from this. And really, you know, you may actually pick a lot of infectious diseases, you know. And if you get pregnant, I don't think I'm going to do abortion. You probably have a baby before you know, like, you have to put it out there. The kind of conversations our mothers didn't have with us. We have to begin to have those conversations with them. You have to be friends with them. And of course, let me tell you, they will not want to be your friend. But it's okay.
Right.
But approach, we can be friends. Or the best way you can start, and this has always worked, is, hey, we can actually talk about sex. I mean, I've lived longer than you, so I should know more about it. I know you think it's all exciting and everything. Let me give you a few tips. And then you open it
Tips, Bawo, which kind of tips are you talking about?
The tips of prevention and the tips to stay away and the tips to preserve their future.
Okay, fantastic.
The tips to preserve their future. The tips to say no. Listen, we all went through the pressure of wanting to lose your virginity because every other person has lost their virginity and we are the only virgins.
Right.
What if the child wants to?
You know, what comes? Peer pressure.
What if the child wants to?
You have to also deal with peer pressure. And let that, sorry, did you say something?
What if the child wants to?
Yeah.
Sorry?
What if the child wants to do it?
Now, yes, the child.
I know we're having issues technically. We have to bring Uri back because you see, I still think we are glossing over this issue.
Yes,
not really. Yes. So we'll bring Uri back because we have another segment. Uri, I'm sorry we have to cut it off at this point. But she's an author and isolation advocate, Uri Ngozi Chukwuka. We'll bring her back to help us understand how best, because there are two things. If the child wants to, all the hormones are raging and say, I must to do.
How do you handle that?
How do I help that? And the one that doesn't have an idea, how do
find out child is already doing.
Hey,
so you now want to have a conversation of stopping or...
So we'll bring Uri back. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll discuss 40 plus. Stay with us and be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, by God's special grace and mercy, I will be 40 on Monday. So, our producers are saying that turning 40 and reaching midlife crisis does not have to be the reality. You don't have to hit midlife crisis. Report has it that many women experience changes both physically, emotionally around age 40. So, we have been having a transformation empowerment coach, Busola Jegede, as our guest. Good morning, Busola. Are you there?
Good morning, Morayo, and the wonderful ladies.
Good to have you. So tell us those things we need to begin to think about as we hit 40 and beyond. What are those things, the lifestyle changes we need to begin to employ to as we hit that age?
Yes. Thank you for having me. Now, there are so many things that we need to be intentional about, because typically a lot of us, we just, as women, we are so encumbered with the cares for other people that we do not pay attention to certain things. I am passionate about making people know that they need to be intentional about their health. Very, very important. Priority should be given to health, periodic health checks. It's important you know the state of your cervix. You should go for breast examinations and check your sugar level, check your blood pressure, you know, just like anybody who is careful about their lifestyle. So I advise women, your birthday, on your birthday,
wow.
You go for your annual screening for your health. Pay attention to, even as we hit 40, is about our finances, because most women from 40 to 50, life happens. And when I say life happens, it could happen in any way. So how financially secure are we? We could even see women who are living large, who have husbands taking care of them. And if the man should die, a lot of things happen, and you find out that the women are just left stranded. So it's important that you have a good grip of your finances. Is it that you're self-employed, or you have a business, or you have an investment that you have control over? Very important. And mental health is also important from age 40 upwards. Typically, that's when the busy years of child rearing would be over. So if we're looking at somebody who has children, whether as a single mother or as a married woman, you would find out that the children begin to leave home. And there's a syndrome called the empty nest syndrome. And so you find out that even physically, her body is changed. Your body will begin to change as a woman. Your realities begin to change. And it's important for you to pay attention to your mental health. Menopause also brings its own attendant concerns, because hot flashes, your body is going through a lot of hormonal changes that you do not understand. And what I find out is that some women tend to spiritualize the problems they are facing, thinking something is wrong with them. It's important to understand this particular season in life. Also, women need to pay attention to legal matters at this stage. You know, many people don't like the idea of talking about death. Nobody wants to die, but it's important that we secure the things we have. A lot of women, even married women, don't pay attention to what the family assets. They don't know where what is. They don't pay attention to the investments they are making. In whose name is the thing? Who is the next of kin? So these things are important. And even for women, typically we look at it that maybe when the man dies, the woman, you know, should be secure. But what if the woman passes away? You can make a trust for your children so that your children will not be cheated in life.
Is that good news? Be 40, because they said life begins at 40. And you're just telling me life is ending at 40.
No, it is not ending, but it will be careless. You know, we have seen a lot during this pandemic season. We are not praying for something bad, but it is always a tragedy when
network.
Technology.
Yeah.
Okay,
so my own is...
So imagine a woman, the things she has done. What's going to happen to her children? Make a trust for your children. Then, talking about purpose and vision, this is what I'm particular about. Typically, we have a lot of age shaming in this part of the world. There is age shaming. You don't get jobs when you're a particular age. You cannot get some opportunities. People celebrate the young people, the millennials, the CEO at 35. What of the person that didn't discover purpose until she was 40 or 45?
Good.
So this is an area where we need to pay attention. Personally, I discovered purpose at 40. I studied as a chartered accountant. That wasn't my purpose. It was when I was 40 that I realized my purpose was to start a ministry for women. And I've been doing that for 14 wonderful years. So if you're just discovering at 40, purpose at 40 or 45, hey, whenever you wake up is your morning.
Wow.
Give it your best. Whenever you start late, you start more powerfully. Yeah. So I want to encourage women who are over 40. A lot of times, because we keep our lives at the back burner for our families, typically, maybe you want to do a master's, you want to do a job, you cannot do it because you have to give other people opportunity. You get to the age of 40, 50, and you begin to feel unfulfilled or unsatisfied in life. No, you've got to change your mindset. When you start late, you start more powerful. You can now lean on your networks, on your experiences, and on your wisdom. So it's important for us to have the right mental state and confidence. Don't allow anybody to age shame you.
I like that.
You may just be discovering yourself towards 50, but if you're living well, you can still have 20 to 25 solid years of achieving your purpose, and you're going to be doing it with a lot of wisdom. Quality sleep is important at this stage. There are so many things we preach when we're talking about marriage, but
I have a question.
Please, every woman, learn to respect yourself. Many times we don't respect ourselves. You cook for people in the family, you don't have enough to eat. You don't serve yourself with the same, with the dishes that you're using to serve others. And people pick up that. You may even find out your children will finish eating the food and they don't remember that mommy has not eaten. So I tell women at this stage in life,
okay, let me pause it for a second. Let me give you a moment to get the internet stuff working right. Let me try to get you to throw a question here, BC.
Yeah, so
are you there, madam? Can you hear us? Okay, she's not back yet.
She's not back, yes. But
what do you make of everything?
I love what she's saying, and I'm learning quite a lot. But I'm thinking, why do I have to wait till I'm 40 to have all of this information? It would be good if I have it early, because I interact with a lot of young people, and I hear them, they don't even understand what life is. They don't understand their vision. They don't understand anything. And it's okay to wake up at any time, but it will be better if we have this conversation, have it more often to women, because since you're building women up, if they can hear it early and start organizing their life. So by the time they get to 40, they are high flyers already. They are in sync with their dreams and vision and all of that. Why can't we have it early?
Did you get that question, madam?
Yes, I did.
Right.
You know that information.
You need 5G.
Honestly, 5G.
We might have to call her on the phone so we can do an audio call instead of a video.
Yeah. Okay, you can't hear me.
We can hear you now.
We couldn't hear you for a minute, but go ahead now.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I said the challenges of different generations are different.
Okay.
So this is the peculiar challenge of this generation called the Generation X. People between 40 and 54, thereabout. Because when we were growing up, you see, a lot of things now, the people who are the younger generation, their own challenges are different. Yeah. But I do agree with you that this information needs to go out to more people. But now, we are seeing younger ones that are discovering their purpose early. University, and they finish and they say, I want to be a photographer. We couldn't say that to our parents.
You dare not. You dare not. Really.
So it's a generational challenge.
Okay.
So a lot of our children, the children, the millennials and all those people, they have tackled the issue of purpose head on. And some of them tell you, this is what I want to be in my life. Daddy, this is what I want to be. But some of the older people, we were forced, even when it comes to realities and what we were preached to concerning marriage. So it's a generational challenge.
Okay.
But it's important that we spread information
I love
to the younger generation.
Okay. I love the conversation you're having about age shame, because a lot of times I've asked the question where the people they find themselves in their 40s and they look back and feel, I haven't done anything, I haven't achieved anything, I wasn't even ready, I didn't even think about it. And I find myself now in my 40s, is it truly the end for me? And where can I start? I just feel like when we don't have enough conversations with people at that point of their lives. There's enough material and information for when you're young and trying to find your way. But then when you find yourself in your 40s and above, there doesn't seem to be a lot of support and information for how to start up at that time.
You're precisely correct. And that's the area of concern. That's my own area of concern and specialty. And I'm doing a lot of work in that area. I'm organizing a conference in that area. I have a Facebook group concerned with women in that particular age. Because many people don't focus on it and they just think life is over. Now, there are peculiar challenges. Those in this particular age, we are used to taking care of our parents. But the millennials don't want any mother to come and sit with them. So it's very, very important for us to know that in the next 10 to 15 years, the reality that we know about marriage, you may have a child who has a son, for instance, who has an agreement with the wife, who has a Silicon Valley job, and he is sitting at home, he works from home, and he's minding the children. And there you go with your mentality of, is my son turning into a woman rapper or not? And you begin to disrupt their marriage. So we have to know that you must be self-sufficient. That's why we're talking about women in this age. There must be a pension fund. There must be something for you to rely on. So you cannot depend on your children the way your parents depended on you.
Let me throw this question into you, especially for those of us that are housewives. There are many women within that age range, and they are comfortable. Yes, you're right. Have an idea, maybe your husband should let you in or so. So your husband is letting you in on the accounts and everything, but you just like and enjoy the lifestyle of being a housewife. You have control of your homemaking space. Are we faulting that today based on our times? Or are we saying it's still okay to be a housewife?
There is nothing wrong in being a housewife, but there is something wrong in being redundant mentally. You can be a housewife, but you must be productive. I think there is something wrong if you cannot earn something. You may not need it, but you should be affecting lives in a way. There should be something that should be of interest to you, because this is very important. When the realities change or the dynamics change, what's going to happen to the person? When all the person knows is just to sit at home and cook. Okay, the children have all grown up.
They've gone.
What if the man, so maybe you have an NGO or you have something. The fact that you are a housewife does not mean your life should not be meaningful and valuable. Because everybody was wired to do something.
Thank you.
My late mother died at 81, but she had a small shop in Surulere where she used to sell drinks, minerals. She didn't need it, but in the morning she would wake up and go to that shop. And even when I bring her to where I live, she would complain that it's too quiet. She wants to go back to her life. Every woman needs a life.
Wow. I think
it's strong.
You've given us some serious nuggets this morning.
Yeah, but
and
before
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but before we go, are there like things that we can be excited to look forward to?
But I'm going to be 40 on Monday. And all these things you just gave to me back. I'm just quiet.
Calm down.
You just calm me down. So please give me some good news.
What are the exciting
I'll tell
things?
you what you need to. The exciting thing, you've got to know at this time, life is no longer an emergency.
Okay.
It's a journey.
Okay.
So you take things easy, worry less about being in the happening circle, but you should look out for people that you have meaningful relationship with. It's no longer about popularity. You can take things slow. Flexibility is key. Invest. Reward yourself.
Yes, I like that. I like the reward yourself.
Reward yourself.
Yes.
Do things that make you happy. You've earned it.
Yes.
You can buy that bag.
Hallelujah.
You've earned it.
Buy that hair.
So, some things are no longer your own caution in life when you get to that stage. See, what was of interest to you in your 20s, when you get to your 40s, it will not matter again.
All right, we have to wrap up though. Thank you so much. We have to run. Thank you so much.
If your husband snores, go to another room so you can sleep.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you, ma.
And don't let them tell you sleep in the same room. You need your sleep to live long.
Yes.
Bye-bye, ma. Bye-bye.
I hope we have a marriage after 40.
Thank you very much.
You don't need to feel guilty about certain things again. And you don't need to kill yourself to please people.
Word. Thank you.
Don't kill yourself to please people, especially people who will never, ever. You can never change their opinion about you.
Yep.
Thank you, ma.
So true.
So just be fair and live your life.
Fantastic. We have to wrap. We are running out of time, ma. Thank you so much. I wish I heard that earlier than Have a fabulous day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.